Hey, besties. We're back with another Girls That Get It podcast with your host, Ken and Han. Did you forget that?
Yeah, I just forgot. That's how we did that.
Yeah, me too. It kind of just like came back to me all at once at the last second. We're back. It's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah, it's been a while since we recorded. It's been a while since we've caught up. It's been a while since we've updated you all.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's just been a while.
It has. So we're back today to chat, give each other a life update, give y'all a life update, and just talk about what's good in life lately.
What's good?
Last time we talked like on the podcast about anything other than like specific concepts, like videos, was Thanksgiving or like the week after Thanksgiving. So a lot has happened.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot has happened and also nothing has happened, at least for me. A lot has happened for you.
I think a lot's happened.
Really? You might have to remind me because I don't know.
Well, yeah, more so for me.
Yeah, for you. For me, I'm
rude.
Just living here. I mean, I have a couple things. Don't get me wrong.
She's living.
I'm just
She's
existing.
living.
I didn't mean living like that. I meant existing. But sure.
She may or may not be going through the motions.
Yeah. Very true. Hopefully that'll change soon, though. We'll get into that later. So yeah, I guess you have a couple stories you want to tell.
I do.
I have a couple like just side random things. So I guess I'll let you start.
You want me to start?
What's up with you? Tell us all about your life and your adventures.
So much. Well, I feel like I should bring it all the way back to what we last talked about and talk about going home for Christmas. And kind of like the December, my month of December was quite the month. Like it was a time where I truly felt like I was at, I don't want to say one of my lowest, but I was just down. Like I was down in so many ways. Mentally, I hadn't turned the corner of like wanting better for myself and was still doing silly things, but that was the month it turned around. And then the last couple weeks of December, my entire team at work got really, really sick, and so it was kind of just me for probably 2 weeks. And the end of the year is just so important for any business, but we had a lot of projects to close, a lot of designs to do. And it was such a good opportunity for me to really like learn and take partnerships and like network within the company. And I enjoyed the challenge, but I was definitely like just exhausted. I was working a lot of overtime, staying late every single day. And I'm never one to like frown upon staying late, especially when it's for something important. But I was just so tired. And for the first time in a long time, wanted to go home to truly have a break.
Yeah.
My computer's not charging. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Brief intermission for Kenna to go grab her charger and plug it in, because can't be having the computer die in the middle of the episode. Nice shot of your butt. Love to see it.
I realized that as I started to do that, and I was like, it's just going to happen. No one watches this. And if you ever do, if that's the best shot of my butt you get, you're welcome. But yeah, so that was my December, and then I went home for Christmas for probably about 5 days, maybe 6. And I was just so happy to be home. I hit everything on my bucket list, had a good time, very genuine. And I love that getting older, I still get to see my friends and do what I want to do, but it's just more genuine time with like family, with myself, with friends. It's not as like go, go, go. It's just like, let's have a good time and enjoy each other's company. And I just had a great time. The only person I didn't get to see was Addie, but that's because she was out of town with family. Yeah. I miss her a lot. But that brings me to my first story.
This is a good story.
I am still on cloud 9 about this story. It truly is probably the highlight of my life, at least one of them.
Your life. I forget that this actually happened and wasn't just like a dream or something.
I know. He just released a new album, so I need to listen to it, but I haven't been like in the place where I can listen to it all the way through. So anyway, if you know me, you know my favorite artist of all time is probably Chase Rice. And he's a country artist. He's big, but not as big as some of the other ones. And he grew up in North Carolina, so that's part of the reason I love his music, because it talks about things I grew up doing in places I grew up doing them. And I kind of started liking him because Matt and I went into a concert in New York City.
Yeah.
And it was just a great time. Good, like all good vibes. And then I have always wanted to go see him since. And there's been times where like Matt would be around him. Like Chase Rice would come to Destin and Matt's like, oh, he's at the bar next door. But like we would never see him. And I remember at that concert in New York, there was a moment where he picked one person to go on stage, and we tried so hard to make that me, but we were kind of in the back, so it didn't happen, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I am in the top 0.05% of his Spotify listeners. Like, I'm not
At
just
the end
saying
of every year. You're not.
I like his music. Like, I am. And I've always said if I ever meet him, I have to show him that, because I just want him to know, like, I'm not just saying I'm a big fan. I really am. So, we go to our hometown bar at the day before Christmas Eve, which is kind of like the day before Thanksgiving. It's a lot of people were out. A lot of people from high school is definitely very much giving reunion vibes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so we go early, and it's kind of dead. And I'm minding my own business, get my drink, and these two girls from high school walk up and say hi to me, say hi to Matt. We introduce them to Gina, and we're just talking. And can I say their names? Does it really matter?
No, I don't think it matters.
Okay. Well, Courtney looks at me and she goes, did you know that's Chase Rice over there? And I literally, like, standing 5 feet in front of me, I'm facing his direction, is Chase Rice.
That's insane.
And I didn't even notice it. And like, this is my small hometown bar that I go to every single night whenever I'm home. Like, I was here every weekend over the summer. It's my place. It's everyone's place. It's like the thing to do. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And I look at Matt and I'm like, do you know what the mission is tonight? I have to meet him.
I need to meet this man.
I need to, like
all hands on deck.
Love him.
We got to make this happen.
Yeah. And Matt knows, like, if anyone were to know, it would be him. Yeah. Like, obsessed. And so, but then they were like, oh, just go ask for a picture, because a couple other people had come up to him and he was really nice about it. And it was early, so it's not like he was being bombarded. And like, Wilmington people are kind of chill, like, and country artists are just down to earth. It's not like Drake was in there, but you know, barely done with my drink. And I just was like, I admire him so much. Like, I don't think I could fangirl. Like, I am internally, but like, I don't think I could go up and like function and know what to say, or like, I don't want to be that girl that like,
it's like, oh, I'm Jam, your biggest fan. I love you. Can I please get a photo?
Yes. Because so many girls were like kind of thinking they could get with him and trying to hang out with him and his crew. And like, I wouldn't mind, but I would never be the girl to ask.
Or like push yourself on him and be like,
if he was interested, that's another thing. But
of course.
So anyway, the night passes and then he ends up leaving that bar. And I was like, you know, like, I saw him. I can say I was in the same room as him. That's really all that matters. Like, I'm sure I'll see him again in concert, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So then the night goes on. A bunch of people from high school come in, and this bar is a small bar, and it always gets packed, like, wall to wall, person to person, like, but it was a good time. And so me and Gina go to the bathroom, and we don't take that long, but we're just chit chatting, doing girly things, you know. And we come back, and I notice that one of the guys that Chase Rice was with, because I was doing a quick scan when he was in there before, I was like, do I know any of them? Could I maybe, you know, like, get in there? Because I know a decent amount of people in town. And I know he goes to Jimmy's, so I was like, anyway. And then Matt's like cornered by his whole group, but I don't see Chase Rice. And so I like make eye contact with Matt, and Matt immediately turns him around and says, hi, I'm so sorry to interrupt our conversation. This is my best friend, Kenna, and she's like your biggest fan. And Chase Rice is standing right in front of me, and I kind of just go like deer in headlights, and I'm like, that did not just happen.
Yeah.
That did not just happen. I'm like, and he was like, hi, like, so nice to meet you. And then I was like, I have to show you something. And I was like, this might be weird. And so then I show him the little thing on my phone from my Spotify Wrapped. Saying that I'm in his like top whatever percent.
Whatever.
Like,
yeah.
And he's like, oh my gosh, like, this is amazing. Like, I have to give you a hug. Like, this means more to me than anything. So this man literally hugs me. And I'm dying.
Jealous.
I'm just dying. Life is made. And like, it was a great time. And then we just kind of sit there and talk to him. Him and Matt talk about Army stuff. And then we talk about his music, and like we just talk about like Wilmington, all that stuff. Like we talk about why he was in Wilmington, like fully carry on a conversation with this man. And like halfway through it, I just looked at Gina because I was just like, I'm not okay. Like I might
like,
be
is
acting
this
okay,
real?
but I'm not okay. Like,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
And there was a point where like I just stopped talking because I was in disbelief, and I was like, we're not doing like this. This
isn't real. I'm not here.
No.
Right now.
Yeah.
That'd be like if I met Drake.
Right. This is literally the equivalent of you meeting Drake.
I would literally shit my pants.
I was. And what was so funny is like the other girls we were with throughout the night, like most people in Wilmington are Chase Rice fans. Like they know of him because most of us like country music.
Yes.
And they were trying to work up the courage to go talk to him. And it was funny because at this moment I was just like, it would be me. It would be me. Like,
right.
Which makes sense because of all the people I would typically like step back and let other people have their moment. But I'm like, this happened naturally. Matt really finessed this. Shout out to him.
True. And it's not like you weren't chasing him around all night trying to like interject into his conversation and like blah, 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 blah. It just you just walked out and then it was kind of right there. Yeah.
Right. Because I kind of connect the dots as I was walking back. I was like, wait a second. That's the guy that he was with earlier. How did Matt get into that? I was like, okay, just keep walking. And I was like, maybe they came back and Chase left because I don't think he would want to be in like that busy of a bar. But he was right there, and I was starstruck.
That's crazy. I am jealous.
I get so excited, and I want to tell everyone. And the coolest part is, so I now obviously live in Colorado, and he doesn't have any shows in the state of Colorado. And my dream concert would be Chase Rice at Red Rocks. And so I asked him, I was like, why aren't you playing in Colorado anytime soon? I would love to go to a concert. Because we talked to him about going to the New York one, and he was like, oh my gosh, that was so early on. Like, you guys are the best. Like, and then he talked about just like what he was up to that night in New York. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, actually in April, we're supposed to be playing at Red Rocks. It just hasn't been announced yet. And I was like, shut up. You're telling me
you getting the inside scoop.
Right. So it still has not been announced that he's playing at Red Rocks, and I've seen his tour schedule, and I don't think there's time for it. So I don't know if he didn't get approved
or like what
still
happened.
Can't be announced yet because Zach Bryan is performing at Red Rocks, and it's already been announced. And Red Rocks is pretty full based off what I've seen because I've been looking at tickets for stuff. But we talked for like a good 30-45 minutes, and then he like walks away and goes back to his buddies, which like he didn't have to stand there and talk that long, much less like he didn't have to be like interested in actually doing it.
Yeah, and he easily could have been like, nice to meet you, but I gotta go.
Right. And so I held good conversation, Matt held good conversation, and then as soon as he walks away, Matt says, Merry Christmas. He was like, your life is made. And I was like, I know, that was great. I owe you forever. Like that's a really good, well, I don't know how you did that, but I'm forever indebted to you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it was so smooth. It was like so like I wouldn't know how to do that. And I was like, I literally was like, okay, who do you want to meet? What do I got to do? And he was like, I've met everyone I want to meet. And I was like, all right. And
that's
then
hilarious.
Last thing I'll kind of say on it. So probably like 30 more minutes goes by, and then Chase Rice comes back up to us, and he puts his hands on our shoulders, and he's like, all right, you guys are local kids. Where's another good place to go like after this? And I was like, you want to know from us where we're going next?
They want the Rex. He wants the Rex from you.
You want the Rex? And he was like, a girl over there told me to go to 22 North. And we were like, oh, you do not want to go to 22 North. Like, that's not the spot.
Yeah.
That's for like all the young people. And like, if you want to like dance, and that just wasn't the vibe. And we're like, go to Loggerheads. And so we hang out a little bit more, finish our drinks. And then we head to Loggerheads, not knowing where he's at. And sure enough, he's there. Loggerheads.
Yeah, of course.
So he took our advice.
That's hilarious. Throw back to when Chase Rice was on The Bachelor with that drama. Remember when he like did a private concert for Peter and whatever her name was, and then she was like, "Oh my God, that's my ex," and it was like a big thing. That was funny.
He was on Survivor. People know him from The Bachelor. Apparently, he did something with NASCAR, so a lot of people know him from that.
Wow.
There's like, he had a life well before like singing. He played college football, like. Kids established.
Wow. I was about to say, man of many talents over here.
I know.
What a time. I can't believe that happened to you, but
yeah, I'm starstruck.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I probably would have like tried to flirt with him a little bit if like I wasn't with Matt and Gina, but I was just like, play cool.
Yeah, you probably did the
I don't
right
think he's that attractive. Chase Rice, you didn't hear that. But
she's like, if he ever hears that, you're the sexiest man alive. But at the same time, I can't even. I know what he looks like, but I'm like, I can't picture what he looks like currently. Like I know I've seen old photos. He doesn't have the
brunette hair that I like, you know?
Yeah. Isn't he like dirty blonde?
Yeah,
basically.
And he's a little bit more like redneck. I'm all about country, but redneck's a little too much
stretch. Yeah.
Well, and he's not quite that. Yeah, just for little funsies, fine. Just to say you've done it, like
I'm dead.
You know?
Yeah. Well, next time you see him,
but anyway,
let him know.
No, I will not let him know.
I'll let him know that
I do think he likes blondes, though.
Well, there you go.
There it goes. But it was a great. It couldn't be better. It couldn't have been better.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice Christmas gift. Good.
Yeah.
And a fun story that you can tell now. So that's fun.
Woo!
What else? What you?
I was gonna let you go.
Okay. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? I don't know. None of my stuff that I have to say is like chronological or anything that happened in particular. It's just like life things. So let's see. I guess. Yeah, Christmas, whatever. Nothing crazy happened. It was just regular Christmas. Spent time with my family. Blah blah blah. All that stuff. It was fun. It was great. That's it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And then, oh my god, this is funny. Should I tell about my story? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm gonna say? Wait, you know what I'm gonna say?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Should I tell?
You called me one day and were like,
yes. It's funny. I don't need to say who.
It's funny.
Or, like, details.
No,
it's not funny.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing. Is it embarrassing? Should I not? Wait, what?
If it was me, I would take that shit to my grave.
Oh, I just think it's more funny. But it is funny because
it is funny. The circumstances.
Yeah, and also like it has nothing to do with me. Like I'm not
right. No, I know. It wasn't done out of malicious intent.
Well, and even if it was, it's not because. Well,
thank you. Next.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just tell you this story. So this is is my one story, quote unquote, and then I have like other random things. But basically, since the last time we've talked, pod listeners, I've been stood up for the first and only time in my life that this has ever happened by a man species of person of the male species.
A man species.
And the reason that this happened, I don't even know, to be honest. Let me give you a little bit of backstory, but not too much backstory. Basically, I was seeing this person not seriously for a little while, and there were red flags, and I was just like, I came to the conclusion that he's not for me. It was fun to see you for a little while, but like, it's gonna end here, basically, because
now we listen and laugh.
Right. I put 5 and 2 and 6 and 12 together and realized that, like, nah, he ain't for me.
Math ain't mathin'.
Exactly. So I came to that conclusion before this happened, basically. And I was like, all right, I need to tell this man that we're donezo and that, like, he shouldn't expect to see me again. And so we met up one night. I told him, I was like, listen, bro, like, this ain't gonna work. Sorry, not sorry, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, okay, that's fine, whatever. He was cool, whatever. So then, for some reason, I don't even know why, he wanted to get lunch and, like, I don't know. He wanted to get lunch after the fact, after I already was like, nah, this isn't gonna work. And for some reason, my dumbass was like, sure, why not?
She fell into the friend trap.
I really did. I really did. Well, I didn't necessarily think that we were or could be friends, but I thought we were cool because it wasn't anything serious. It's not like we dated for months and months and that, like,
Right.
There weren't really any hard feelings because there weren't even that many feelings to begin with. Yeah. So it was kind of like,
yeah, fair.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, we make these plans to get brunch or lunch or whatever. And basically, he's like, let's meet at this time. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And long story short, I show up at that time and I get there and he's not there. But I was like 2 minutes early. And so I'm like, okay, let me give him a second to get there, whatever. So I get out of my car because I was like, I'm not going to sit here and wait in my car. I'm going to get out of the car and go inside and just like sit in the waiting area and wait for him. And so I go in, I'm sitting, nothing happens. He's not there. He doesn't come in. And I'm like, In my head, I'm already like, I just get the vibe that he's not going to show up for some reason. And I'm like, no. Like, let me just wait a couple minutes. Like, I'm a few minutes early. Like, let me not be too hard on him. Like, maybe there's like, I don't know. You never know. Sometimes people are a couple minutes late and like, you can't be that mad because life happens. So long story short, 5 minutes goes by. He's not there. 10 minutes goes by. He's not there. And so after 10 minutes goes by of the time we were supposed to meet, I texted him and I was like, are you coming? Like, I'm here. Are you on the way? Nothing. Because in my head, I'm like, if you're planning to meet somebody and you know that you're running late, most people would send a text and be like, hey, sorry, I'm running late. Like, forgot to whatever. I'll be there in a little bit. Just so that, like, that's just common courtesy when you have a plan to meet somebody. So I asked him, I'm like, are you on the way? I'm here, blah, blah, blah. 15 minutes goes by, nothing. 20 minutes goes by. And then I'm like, okay, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. He's still not here. He still never messaged me responding or saying that he's on the way or anything. I was like, he ain't coming. I was like, I will wait 5 more minutes. But once I've been sitting here for 25 minutes and he doesn't appear, I'm gone. So 25 minutes goes by in total. And I'm like, I'm out. So I leave. Never heard a word from him until like 6 hours later. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I fell asleep. Blah, 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 blah. Like the whole
6 hours,
the whole spiel, like the whole spiel. And the drama, like
he really did. He did put in the works he did put in the works with the message. I'll give him that, but it was too late.
It was one, too late. Two, it was like so dramatic. He was literally like, I will spend my life making this up to you. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude,
it's not that deep.
Understand that you're sorry. But at the same time, are you really? And also, that's a little bit traumatic. Like, you don't need to go that far to spend the rest of your life making it up to me. But, like, goodness gracious. Like, just set a freaking alarm. Like, you're too old to be doing this. And
why are you sleeping 6 hours in the middle of the day anyway? What you doing?
That's what I want to know. Like, that's what I want to know. So I was just like, no, absolutely not. And it's so funny, too, because, like, it wasn't even a date. Like, that's what makes it more embarrassing is that like I agreed to get lunch with him, like quote unquote as friends, and then this happens to me and I'm just like, oh my God. Like I was honestly laughing. Like I was pissed at first because I was like, bro, this is karma. Like this is what I get for being stupid and agreeing to get lunch with him.
Yeah.
And then I just started laughing because I was like, this is actually hilarious that I just got stood up by this man. And like, it was just the perfect storm for a really funny story. And so now I'm here telling it because it's so funny. And I've genuinely never been stood up before ever until that day. And I still haven't seen him. I've never heard anything from it. Like, just that was
it's funny because we talked about this after it happened, like how he reacted and how he like recognized he was wrong and like came back and was like so like grieving about it. If that was the right person, that would have, like didn't we talk about that? But he was just too far too late to not it.
Oh yeah, it just like could if the factors that led up to me realizing he wasn't for me weren't there, he could have recovered. But I'm just like, dude, you have already dropped the ball like 6 times before today.
Yeah. That
like this was your last chance and your last straw at any kind of like redemption of friendship or anything. Like and too short of an amount of time too many negative things happened that I was just like, absolutely not. And so after he sent his paragraph of an apology, I told him, I was like, listen, it's too late. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Like, there's no reason for me to give you any other chances as a friend, as more than a friend, as anything. Like, if I ever see you on the street, I'll be nice to you, but like, nice knowing you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you next. So, God damn. I remember when you called and told me that, and I was kind of in disbelief because
I was too. I still am.
I don't feel like people get stood up these days, and that's again nothing on you, but like you don't hear about it or people don't talk about it. Literally. But I told you that story about our other friend that got stood up, and I was like, I had never heard of that like actually happening, and now tell me why I'm scared to get stood up.
Oh my God, no. When that happened to me, I immediately thought of that other person who got stood up, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this what it feels like? Like,
you were clowning that person so hard, like, oh my gosh, like, that's hilarious.
At least theirs was a date, and mine wasn't. I guess you could, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just fun. And I don't know. I just...
I think it's funny because it was one of those things, like...
It's hilarious.
It wasn't clown behavior, but it was borderline, like, you're just silly right now. Like, you're in a silly, goofy mood.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when you, like, are doing something you're just kind of about, sometimes, like, you don't always, like, tell your friends up front. And then she calls me. She's like, can I call you really quick? And I'm like, yes. And it was kind of early in the morning for me.
Yeah.
Because I had slept in. And I was like, what happened this early? Like, I don't really. And then she was like, this is it. And I'm like, this is how life be catching up to people. And it happens to me. It happens to everyone. Like, God gotcha,
Yeah,
like...
he really did. And it was funny because, like, and this is the last thing I'll say, but one of the other reasons why I was like, I'll go, why not, was because the last time I'd seen him before that, and the last time I'd really talked to him before that, was when I was, like, quote unquote ending things, or like telling him that it, like, just wasn't it. And so I was kind of curious, like, he was the one who wanted to get lunch and he suggested it. So I was kind of curious, like, if he was going to try to, like, say something about our conversation, or like if he was genuinely just trying to, like, continue as regular friends and act like nothing happened.
Right.
I was like,
that's what I think it was.
I was curious about what he was trying to do. But the Lord was like, nah, you ain't getting answers today, sweetie, because he ain't coming.
I just saw a TikTok last night that this girl was saying, like, sometimes when, like, you pray or you ask God for, like, a sign if, like, you're doing the right thing or not, specifically when it comes to, like, a guy or relationship, and, like, they instantly remove that person from your life. Like, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that happened to me. And
in that moment.
Yeah. And I will say that I never will step foot back into this establishment that I walked into.
Your interaction with the hostess or, like, server was half of the story. Like,
yeah, I walked in and I was like, hey, or she was like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, I'm meeting somebody here. Like, I'm going to go see if there's a spot at the bar. If not, like, I'll wait to be seated. So I walk around the whole restaurant looking for a spot at the bar. No spots. And I'm also looking around the restaurant just to make sure he's not already there sitting down. And so then she was like, no spots? And I was like, no, I'm just going to, like, wait outside. Blah 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 blah, and then I left, and then I never came back, and I'm just like, she probably thinks that, like, I don't know what she thinks, but yeah, that was my.
You could have had a family emergency. She doesn't know.
I could have, yeah, and she would never recognize me probably if I ever went back there, which I won't. But yeah, that was fun. Also, that's I never went to that place before. Like, it's not anyway. Okay, that was fun. That was a good story. I feel like we're taking too long talking about these stories, so I'm gonna move on.
I thought I was trying to drag mine on.
Oh, really?
What else we gotta say?
I don't know. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, jeez, I have 2.
But mine are just small things. Most of mine, that's the only, like, story. The rest is small stuff.
Okay.
So,
well, I met my celebrity crush, so I can take as long as I want. So,
yeah, true.
Do you want me to go, or do you want to list some of your 6 things?
No, you go.
Okay. Well, Christmas came, passed, New Year's came and passed, and we're in the first week of January, and I have a long weekend. And my friends and I decide we want to go up to Avon and Beaver Creek and go skiing or snowboarding for the day, and then spend the night and come back. And I was just absolutely having a blast. The first time I went snowboarding was over Thanksgiving with my brother and friends. in Keystone. And let me just say, Keystone is a lot tougher skiing than Avon or Beaver Creek. And I'm no expert, but like I was whipping down these things in Avon, and I was just having a great time, and it seemed a lot more manageable, and I wasn't as scared because Keystone is so steep, and that's what scares me. So I was so proud because the first mountain I ever went down was a blue, and I was like, look at me, bitch, I fucking crushed that shit, didn't fall or anything. And so then we're like, okay, let's go, because we started in Avon because that's where we were staying. We took the trails over to Beaver Creek, and when you're snowboarding, for anyone that doesn't know, on the catwalks or the flat areas, it's kind of hard for you to keep momentum going because like skis you can walk or push yourself, or snowboarding you're kind of locked in. And so I was kind of getting pulled by my friends on skis and this stuff like that, and there was a point where they got ahead of me, and that was totally fine, but I ended up getting twisted around and kind of just falling backwards on my butt. It wasn't a hard fall. It wasn't anything crazy. But I like put my hands down to catch myself. And then I eventually catch up to where they're at, and I take one of my gloves off because my wrist kind of hurt, and my wrist was really swollen. And I have never broken a bone. I didn't know what that felt like. I didn't cry. I wasn't in a lot of pain. It just wasn't comfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I like, my friends look at me and they're like, you should get that looked at before you like ski down. And I was like, oh no, I'm fine, whatever. And then they were like, well, can you put weight on it? And I was like, not really, but I think that's just like the initial shock of the fall. I don't think that's like anything big.
Serious.
And they're like, well, if you fell on it again, do you think it would hurt? And I'm like, well, yeah. And so they were like, yeah, you should definitely get that looked at. So I got skied down by ski patrol. And this was like second, third run of the day. Like we had barely gotten out there. Like I was on a high, but I was just so happy that I had gotten and improved and like could hang with my friends that were like, they're way better than me. And I'm not saying I'm great, but I was like, I can do this. Like,
yeah.
I can at least be in the same vicinity. And
yeah.
So, I go to the ER, and turns out I did indeed break my wrist. And I remember calling my mom, calling my brother, calling my dad, and my mom's like, okay, like whatever. And I was like, I don't think I broke it. I'm not in that much pain. Like it's just uncomfy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I sent my dad a picture, and he's like, yeah, it's broken. And I'm like, how do you know? Like, don't be a Debbie Downer, because I hadn't even gotten x-rays yet. I hadn't been taken back.
Yeah.
So that was that. And I will say the first 24 hours were probably the worst. I was in a lot of pain, was on a lot of pain meds. But still, like, I still went out that night. I still, like, did everything. I normally did. And I just remember my friends, they're like, you're such a trooper. Like, you literally broke a bone and you're just right here hanging with us. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't want to ruin the trip for you. And two, like, even though I'm very uncomfortable, like, I'm not in agonizing pain where I feel like I'm gonna die.
Like can't take. Yeah.
And the most uncomfy part was that first fiberglass cast they put me in, because it was so itchy.
Yeah.
And I just remember the first night going to bed and just crying and texting maybe you and like Matt and like a couple other people, just being like, this sucks.
This is terrible.
Like, I can't hang. Like, I will not be doing this again. And then the next day I was like, I'm fine. I was just being dramatic. I had a really hard time falling asleep that night because the cast went all the way up past my elbow, so I couldn't move my arm.
Yeah.
And so eventually I've gone to the doctors, got it looked at, been in a hard cast, and I'm now in a splint. And I got my hard cast taken off the exact day, like that was a month after my accident. And my doctor was like, I've never let anyone out of a cast before 6 weeks, but I'm going out of town and you seem to be healing really well. You just have to promise me you're not going to like
do anything.
Yeah. And she's like, if you do mess it up, you will have to have surgery because your break is worse than we thought it was. So I'm in a splint, but I can take it off to shower. And that's honestly like all that I care about. I don't care about wearing it any other time.
Yeah.
So things are
that's good.
But that was a lot of my month of January.
I would not be able to, like, I would be miserable, I feel like, with a cast on. Maybe not. Maybe it's not as bad as I am like imagining it, but I hate, like, especially sleeping. There's nothing worse than being uncomfortable and like not being able to sleep or like feel like your normal self. So I cannot imagine. I don't prefer that happened to you.
Yeah. Well, and my kind of biggest thing with all of it was like, even when I was in the uncomfortable fiber cast, like if I really needed to, I could have taken it off.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't, because I knew it wasn't what was best for me, like just knowing, but once that hard cast was on, the first 24 hours, like having it, my arm deswelled and then it started to move a lot, which I think is why I've enjoyed it, because I haven't had like an uncomfortable cast situation.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
But I definitely like panicked a little bit the first night I took a shower, because I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
This thing's on me forever. Like until I go back.
Yeah.
I don't get it off. I was like, but then I've just gotten used to it, and I can honestly just do anything I normally would except for lift things with this hand.
Right.
Well, and now good. I've started to work out lightly again, because when I was in that hard cast, I couldn't really work out besides going on walks or things where I didn't not only put obviously weight on my wrist, but like I couldn't sweat because you can't wash that cast. And by the end of the 4 weeks that it was on, it was nasty. Like,
yeah. And imagine if you were like being all sweaty during that would just make it worse. Ain't it?
I know. So
yeah,
that's that. I don't know how I feel about going snowboarding again. Like I want to prove that I can do it. I want to, because I had a lot of fun, even the day I broke my arm, but also like this has been such like an expense for me and inconvenient, and like if it happened that easily, like who knows what else could happen. And like
I feel like you just got very unlucky with like the way it happened, because I used to snowboard when I went to App, and I've fallen. I mean, in the beginning I fell a lot, and I never broke my, like nothing like that ever happened to me, and I definitely fell of my fair share when I was learning. So I feel like you just got very unlucky, but I mean, I wouldn't go back out on the slopes the day you get your cast off and be trying to be all fancy.
No, Matt, I don't know if I told you this. Matt literally called me the weekend after. He's like, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like,
yeah, you told me this.
I know you want to go skiing. And I was like, I'll go up to the mountains with you, but like,
you're not gonna.
I'm not gonna get on the mountain.
Yeah, no, that's.
And he was like, "Why not?" And I was like,
"Bro, do you want me to?"
Well, and I kind of put it this way: I was like, for your sake, if I hurt myself again, I will not be fun to deal with. I will not be a happy camper. I will be in a lot of pain, and you will have to take care of me. And I know you don't want to do that.
Right. So for everybody's sanity, let's not.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, it's not as fun as if you come and don't ski." And I'm like, "Well."
It'd be less fun if I do and hurt myself. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, at least you're on the up of that, and
totally,
it's not in major pain like it was in the beginning.
Yes.
Great. Okay. I guess I'll give two little things. One. Okay, I'll give these two. They go hand in hand. I maybe about 3 weeks ago or something cut my hair, and it's disgusting, for one.
No.
And for two, well, listen, so if you don't know, I had my hair dyed blonde probably like for about a year, or it lasted for almost a year, and it was probably like a year and a half ago at this point. Something like that. Somewhere around those lines. And when I decided that I didn't want to be blonde anymore, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And like, you can't just like you can't just like take it out. So I had to put like, it's no like magic trick where you can just like poof the blonde off. So you had to put brown dye back on your hair, and like the hair stylist tries to match it as close to like your root color so that it'll like blend naturally and grow out, whatever. But obviously any hair dye is going to fade over time. So when they put the brown hair dye on top of the blonde, even though my natural hair is brown, the blonde is still underneath. So when the brown starts to fade, it looks like a light brown instead of the dark brown that my roots are. So pretty much like it's probably been a year since I have dyed it back brown, and it is still like, there are still parts of my hair that are light brown because it's like the old blonde that the dyed brown was on top of, and blah 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 blah. And so the ends of my hair were like really unhealthy, and I was just like, listen, I need to cut a lot off to get the unhealthy ends off, and also to get off as much as this like light brown ugly color off as possible, because I'm over it. And so I did that. I cut off as much as I could without looking like a psycho with a bob haircut, and my hair is pretty short now, and most of that like ugly brown is off. There's still some of it on there, which also contributes to why I still hate my hair, because it's just ugly right now. But short hair is just not for me. Every single time I cut my hair short, I never like it.
What?
And you know this. I always say that I hate my hair short, and you're like, but I love it. And I'm like, well, I don't.
think you used to like it.
No, bestie. The last time I cut my hair this short, I hated it. And you were like, really? I love it. Bring back the short hair. And no, I hate it. I hate when my hair is this short. It's so ugly, because I have such thick hair that like when it's this short, like you'll see, like if I take a shower and my hair naturally dries, it's like pretty wavy. And so when my hair is this short and it dries naturally, I look like a poodle. Like it gets so puffy and gross and ugly, and like it just doesn't look good unless I style it. And I don't have time to style my hair every day, nor do I want to make the time, because I would rather sleep than style my hair. Like I just have priorities, and I'm not gonna spend 30 minutes styling my hair. And it's just not it. I just don't like the short hair. I never have, but I knew that I needed to cut it off because it was just dead and ugly and gross and all that. So yeah, I cut my hair. Some days I don't hate it as much, but most days I don't love it. And like I kind of just am wearing it in a clip all the time because I just hate it. And that also ties into my second point, is that I'm just ugly.
No.
And it's
You're not ugly.
I'm glad that you think that, but I don't agree, and I'm just not hitting lately. Like, I just haven't been, like, I've been looking in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, girl, you kind of ugly. Not really. Okay,
oh my God.
I'm being mean. Like, I know I'm not actually ugly, and that's rude. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you shouldn't say that about yourself.
No, I shouldn't. But I'm gonna, because, you know, you just, have you ever had those days where you just feel ugly, and no matter what you do, it just isn't, you just can't fix it?
I have days. I don't have months.
I'm in a phase of life right now. It hasn't been months. It's been a couple weeks maybe that I've just been like, ugh, I'm not it. It's honestly been since my haircut. I'm just like, ew. I'm just not, no. Nothing unless I like I said, unless I style it in a very particular way, I'm just like, ew, it's not it. And I don't know. My hair contributes to like, I don't know, if as a female, I feel like your hair matters a lot to like how you look and how you think you look and all this stuff. So I haven't liked my hair lately, which has caused me to feel ugly lately. And then I'm just like, ew, who am I?
Yeah, I get that. So, I empathize with that.
So yeah,
ugly. This girl that I follow, you remind me of her in this way. She feels like she's having her winter uglies right now, and I've never heard it phrased like that. But she's like, you just don't have that same glow and same like light to you that you do in the summer. And she was talking about herself. I'm not saying this towards you, but I had never heard it phrased like that. And I was like, I guess I could see where you're coming from.
It's true. And it's crazy because normally I feel like I thrive in the fall and winter, but this time I'm just not, I don't know. It just hasn't been hitting. So I don't know what I need to do about it, but, I'm sure it's just a phase, and I'll be fine. And I'm being a little bit dramatic. Like, I don't actually think I'm that ugly, but I just haven't been feeling myself like that lately. So hopefully that will change soon.
Yeah. And sometimes it just clicks. There's not always like something you can do to change it. You just wake up one day and you feel like that bitch again.
True. So yeah, that's that.
Time will tell. Yeah. I feel you. Those are never fun days, but you'll get through it.
Yes, I will.
What else has been up with me?
I don't know. You tell us. Tell the fans what they want to hear.
Fans. The fans want to hear a lot. I just think things are pretty good. I felt like I was on such a high around New Year's, and I've definitely come off that a little bit. I've little bit back to reality. I'm currently challenging myself to spend as little money as possible. Mm-hmm. So it's like so fun because I feel like I'm reinventing things that I'm into and how I can spend my time. But I like to spend money. Who doesn't? But it's definitely been nice to see my savings grow again and just to like put myself into perspective of like, you can do both. You can do things in moderation. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a couple habits that I want to have that I don't have right now. Mm-hmm. So I feel like every weekend I'm like, okay, this is the weekend that I'm going to get to this. And I get to a lot of it, but I don't get to everything on that list or everything that I hope to get to. Yeah. Because I really am devoting a lot of time to work. And I've also been trying to prioritize time with friends. And mm-hmm. it's that classical triangle where you get either a great social life, great work, or great sleep. And you can only have 2 of the 3.
Mm-hmm. You can't have 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's trying to find the best balance of it all, which is totally normal. I will say, this is probably an unpopular opinion. It's getting to be warmer out, which is definitely nice, but I like a cold February. Like, mm-hmm. don't tease me with this like half spring. Same. Like, I would rather wait until mid-March to early April for it to be like warm and it can like consistently cold till we get through it. And then we turn it around. Like, agreed. I don't like the fake out.
Same. Oh, I thought you were. Are you continuing or are you done? I thought you were. I thought you were going somewhere else with that statement. I didn't realize that was that. That's why I wasn't saying anything back.
That was just a general statement.
Oh, yeah. No, it was like 75 degrees here the other day on like some random day. And I was like, what is this? Like, don't play with my emotions like this. It's not even March yet. Like, keep that sun. I mean, you can bring the sun out, but keep that hotness for spring like and summer. We're not there yet.
It's been 60 here. And it's 60 here feels like 70 back home because there is not a cloud in the sky and it's just hot AF. Yeah. But we're supposed to have a storm this Wednesday of snow. Mm. And I'm just like, honestly, hot take, I would rather it snow for the next week than be 60.
Then be hot, yeah.
But I will say, one of my favorite summer things to do is to just lay by the pool and read a book. And I had such a nice tan this year, and I'm ready. Part of me was like, should I go lay out this weekend? Like, is that crazy? Like, should I just get a little color? Get the base tan
You could if it was warm. You could.
I mean, I was sweating, so.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I guess I have to, I'll combine those. So on the topic of, we haven't talked about this yet, but I will bring it up. On the topic of traveling, I have 2 like kind of exciting things around that topic. One is that I'm going to Seattle this week in literally 4 days.
Woo!
So that's exciting. I guess by the time this goes up, I will have already been, and that would have been like irrelevant at this point. But when we're recording this, I'm going to Seattle at the end of this week for like 5 nights, I think, because
that's a time.
I know my cousin is getting married and she lives in Seattle, so I'm very excited to go back. Last time I was there was last summer when I went by myself when I thought I was going to move there, and I kind of think that going back this weekend is going to make me like want to move again.
I mean,
which I'm not right now because my plan is to go to grad school before I like move anywhere, but I feel like being back there is going to make me like is going to re-spark my want to live there. So we'll see, but I am excited just to see that side of my family because I don't get to see them often, and I am ready to have like a little mini vacation / break just from life. So I think that'll be fun. And then also my family and I, well, I guess my family, but my dad and I just booked our summer trip for our family because every year we do like something over the summer, and we just booked it and we're going to Aruba. So
shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm really excited about that. And I helped him like plan it and pick out where we're staying and all this stuff. And the place that we found is really nice. And I just cannot wait to be in Aruba for a week over the summer. Like that is like a dream vacation. And I'm just like in shock. I am so excited.
That's fucking wild. That's not, I had no idea where you're going with that. That's like quite the vacation.
I know. That's like I'm excited. I'm very excited. And I'm like, we were talking about wanting to do like a Caribbean vacation this summer, and we were like throwing around ideas for like a while, and we never really decided. So I was kind of like, is this actually going to happen? And then one day he was just like, so are we going to book this? And I'm like, you tell me. Like, let's do it. And he was like,
where
okay,
did you guys go last year?
Last year? What did we do last year? Oh, last year we rented a beach house in Topsail with our like cousins and uncle for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we didn't really go anywhere far. We just went to the beach house up here for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then I think the year before that we went to Vegas. The year before that we went to Boone. So it's been a while since we've like gone out of the country or somewhere in the Caribbean. So I'm very excited, and I've only been to Aruba once, and it was when I was on a cruise for like 5 hours. So
that's cool.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to go and see all the things.
Yeah, I'm definitely jealous. That sounds like a great time. I'm sure it'll be a blast.
I am quite excited. So that's fun and something to look forward to at the end of this summer.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Do you have any other things you want to cover?
I mean, I can make some stuff.
You're good. I have one more small thing.
Okay, then you go ahead.
Yeah, I got one more small thing.
Oh, wait. I have one more thing, too.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
This past week, I did my first, like, brand partnered TikTok.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about that, even though we were literally just talking about that right before we started recording.
I know. This brand that I have used in the past reached out on Instagram, and at first, I'm sure I'm not the only one that gets these. I know you get these, but like sketch brands with like 0 followers will be like, hi, like we want to send you blah blah blah, and like
you're like, do you?
I just
really
don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But this brand had like the blue check, and I was like, seems kind of legit. So I work with them, and they were great, and I love their stuff. So it was just an easy fit, and it's just a good practice. They gifted me like 4 of their products, and then sent me a gift card, which I am unable to redeem, and have not heard back from them on how to redeem it because I don't know. And part of me thinks I'm the problem, and I'm not accusing them of anything, but like I'm pretty tech savvy. I know most things. Like
yeah, you can normally figure out stuff like that.
Yeah, and I can't. So, and it's not the end of the world because I got free product, and I actually love their product, so it's not a big deal. And like they sent me a brief, and I had deliverables, and it was very natural, and it was great because I didn't have to highlight their one product or one brand the whole time. It was very organic, and I was like, this is great practice because I would love to get to the place where I'm doing more partnerships or sponsored things just as I grow, which I'm still a nobody. I'm not saying I'm shit, but it was like, you want little old me with 500 followers? To do this?
That's fun. I'm glad that you got to do it and that it was like a legit thing and not just like some random nobody brand being like, hey, promote our stuff.
Right.
Like, we don't even know that we're actually sending you.
Yeah, totally.
So that's exciting. And your TikTok was honestly good. Like I felt like I was watching
like
some like if I didn't know you, I would think like, oh, she's just an influencer on here. Like,
oh my
you know what I mean? So
like and subscribe, okay?
Go like and subscribe because she's been good with the TikToks. Not me though. Well, you can like and subscribe, but like I don't know if you'll be getting any content anytime soon.
Hey, that's how my YouTube is, so don't worry.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Actually, let's not. But
you can save that for the next episode, okay?
Yeah. I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah. You share your last couple things.
Okay, my last couple things. One, I've been on my barista grind lately, and I think I don't know if I was telling this. I think I might have said this in our resolution thing about
bar.
how I like want to like make a little coffee bar whenever I have my own place. Well, I don't have my own place, but I have a miniature, very miniature coffee situation at my house now where I will make whatever flavor syrup I want for like it'll last for like 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll make like a flavor syrup and use that, and then I'll make my little cold foam with my milk frother. Okay. So I've been kind of dabbling in the barista area at home, which is kind of fun and exciting because it saves me money on coffee going out, and it's kind of fun. So yeah, that's been cool and nice and fun and fresh. And then the last thing I just wrote this, you're going to laugh. It's nothing like crazy. It's just kind of funny because I feel like this is, wait, why is my mic? Oh, I swear
can still hear you.
I swear I just saw the light flash red, but I guess I'm
sometimes
tripping.
It does that, but
that's
I don't notice the difference.
Anyway, what I'm about to say you're going to laugh at because this says something that you would say and not me normally.
Okay.
But it's kind of funny. It's really because the Super Bowl was yesterday, and I watched the Super Bowl. I don't know if you watched it because I know you were working.
Yeah, I watched the last half.
Yeah. So I watched the Super Bowl, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And basically I just came to the conclusion that, like, I would love to date an athlete. And I know the reason.
You know me so well. You know me so well.
That's why I said you would normally say this and not me.
Yeah,
I don't really have a type, and I'm not saying that your type is athletes.
I mean, it's not athletes.
Because that's not, like, the main thing.
Don't finish the rest of that.
You're going for. No, I'm saying it's not like you only would date an athlete. It's not like you're like, I'm an athlete.
That's true. That's true.
You know, like, you're not going to not take it, but yeah, I just kind of was looking at these football players and I was like, I wouldn't mind being wifed up by one of you.
There we go.
Some of y'all are nice to look at.
Exactly.
So I just came to that conclusion. And then I kind of went down a rabbit hole of like stalking these football players on Instagram. And I was like, some of y'all are a little delicious looking. Like,
we got to get you on then.
What? Oh,
Raya. Yeah, we got to get you on Raya.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them on there.
Yeah, I just like.
Not that I would know, but.
You said not that I would know. I wouldn't mind dabbling. I wouldn't mind dabbling in the athlete situation.
Right.
That's all I got to say. I just kind of, I don't know. We'll see.
That's my favorite thing you said.
I know. I just was like, I'll give it a shot. Like, I don't have a type, and that type I haven't gone for yet, so maybe I need to. I don't know.
You've dated athletic people, though.
Yes. Yeah, but
pro athletes, no.
No, I mean,
but like
for me to think that I would be able to like pull a pro athlete anyway is a little ambitious. But like the thought's there. It might be easier than pulling Drake. So like, start somewhere. Start small.
But I would say like for me, just athletic people in general falls in the category of athlete. Like, sure, maybe it's not your profession, but.
That's true. So anyway, I'll end on that. That's basically all I have to say about that.
Wow, that's some hot tea. I'm glad you brought that to the table.
Isn't it?
Got me all excited, man. Like,
I know, right?
Maybe this means we'll finally like kind of. What if we have issues though?
I don't think we will.
I don't think we will either.
I don't think we would. I still don't think that we would. Because there is so like
that's a whole topic for another day. We got to talk about that.
Yeah, we should. Okay, we'll cut it off here.
We'll leave you at that.
Stay tuned for more.
Well, this was a great episode. I hope you guys got all the juice, the tea, whatever you're hoping to get from this, because we haven't shared stuff in a while, but we're back. Get ready. We've got to start season 2 here soon. So
oh yeah, we do.
Don't know what that's going to mean, but stay tuned. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel to see all the things. Hannah just posted her Billie Eilish interview, and it's great. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Mine will be out soon, so when it's out, go watch it. She's at Adrian Zuli on everything. I'm at Kenna Casto on everything. And we will see you guys in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.